Now, I just wanted to talk about this quickly, and this is definitely going to be a more of a rant type of video. This isn't going to be like my other videos where I has like a decent structure and like good editing. I'm probably barely going to edit this. I just wanted to make a quick little video covering this really interesting topic of discussion I found by a creator named Lolbits. I'll link his channel in the description, and he pretty much just made a video covering why competitive Forsaken players shouldn't balance like Forsaken, and like I think it's a pretty interesting topic to be had because Forsaken's balancing is a fundamental part of the game. Um, it's very important to make sure that the game is in a decently healthy state for both parties, public lobbies and competitive lobbies, to make sure that like overall everyone is like benefiting. I know it's not gonna be that easy, and like I always think that the game should have some sort of imbalance. Like I don't think this game should be like fully balanced because that's just not gonna be fun for like newer players or anybody in the public lobby really. Because the changes you're gonna have to make to like certain characters are gonna be like pretty huge, and it's gonna expect teaming pretty much. And like okay, like that's not exactly what I'm trying to get at here. I saw this video by Lolbit and I was like, that's a pretty interesting take and just topic of discussion as a whole. And I just wanted to give my piece of the pie since I know I think it's interesting, and this channel is probably going to be talking about Forsaken's balancing a lot, so I think it's relevant to my channel as well. And I think I am like I can talk about this. Like I've been a competitive player for I want to say 11 10 11 months. Like I started playing competitive in this game around May 2025, and kind of up until today. I mean, I haven't been playing it nearly as much as I used to before, but that's besides the point. All right, like I'm playing. I've been known by competitive Sigma for a while. I've been like some of the best teams, but all right, I just wanna again just give my take on this, and I'll just say it right now. I think there definitely should be some keyword some. I think there should be some competitive players balancing this game. And the main reason why I say that is because I think okay, from just looking at the patch notes of this game, the balancing changes, just anything in general, it's I'm not trying to sound mean when I say this, but sometimes the balancing changes do seem a little lost in some cases. Like I don't exactly know how to describe it, but like the balancing changes, they don't seem like the most accurate to what should be doing, to what should be like being done. And I think competitive players would stomp this out, but I'll get to that in a little bit. I think the most prominent balance change to me, which showed that the developers probably needed some help from the like competitive end to just say like, hey, this probably shouldn't what you shouldn't be doing, is the Void Rush buffs nobody got. And at first it was fine. Like they buffed it one time, and like that was okay. Like I think that was fine. Void Rush was like a pretty bad move because if you didn't hit it, and it was pretty hard to hit, but if you didn't hit it, you were pretty much like you're kind of like selling the chase. Like you would only really use Void Rush as kind of like a last resort to get like some value out of the chase. But okay, they buffed it and like that was fine. But apparently then it got buffed again, and I can definitely see it in the game that it got buffed again. I'm pretty sure the turn rate, like the window of turn rate, where you have, like you can like turn a lot more, got increased, and like um that just made Noli really ass to go against, and it didn't really fix any of his main issues either. Like pretty much what they did was they addressed his one of his abilities and gave him a buff and was like fine. But then they kind of overtuned the ability so that he just became really unfair. Not unfair, but like just unfun to fight against. Because like you could still sound check Noli through like insane check spots. You can still get really good pre-runs, and for a killer who can't even catch up in chase, getting those good pre-runs and getting that good distance at the start of the chase was like that's bad. And Voiders didn't really fix that, but they just kind of overtuned it so where if he was in any like in any position where he could like properly abuse Void Rush, it just I know you're just gonna put yourself in a really bad situation. It just wasn't fun, and it's still in the game. Like instead of actually like fixing his flaws, which are, you know, the fact that he's really fucking slow. Um, he they just overtuned one of his abilities and just became really unfun to play against. And I was like, bro, I don't think this should be the direction of I don't think this should be the direction of balancing. Like, okay, if there was a competitive player on the team and their opinion and like, you know, their opinion was listened to, and they're like, oh yeah, this is just gonna this doesn't fix any of those issues, this is just gonna make him even worse to play against, the team could have been like, oh, okay, we'll do this instead, which still gives him the same level of strength but makes him infinitely more healthy for the game. And like, that is just way better. Like, okay, I still think Vorder should have gotten a buff, since I think it was way too punishing and just way too hard to use, to the point where it just kind of became inconsistent no matter what. Like, you know, there were still some really good players who could take advantage of it. But, like, you know, I think even then, he still could have gotten some of his fundamental issues fixed and just made him make him faster overall. But, you know, they just decided to overtune the ability instead, which is kind of bad. Now, also another thing I saw in the video, which I wanted to comment on, was how some competitive players might make the game too balanced, which is like bad for the game. I just want to preface this now. If any of the devs are going to watch this, you shouldn't be balancing around comp, like, at all. Like, okay, I'm pretty sure you guys already know this, like, but, like, you know, if you make the game too balanced, it's just gonna, like, not make it fun at all in pubs, because, like, if you just die in, like, pretty fast without a team, it's just not fun. Like, you know, as much as I am a competitive player, bro, I'm low-key a pub slumper as well, and, like, I will say, if I had to, like, rely on my pub teammates to do anything, bro, I would cry. Like, I still think the game is too survivor-sided. This is also something Lawblood said in this video, and I completely agree with it. Like, I think they have the right idea, but I just don't think the devs currently have the knowledge, like, the advanced knowledge, you know, the really advanced knowledge, and, like, I think they're just hand-holding too much. Like, I don't think you guys need to be hand-holding nearly as much as you are, because, like, I don't get why some survivors are still able to get, like, above 2-minute chases if the players are on, like, relatively the same skill level, if it's, like, a decent matchup. It's just, like, you know, also something you need to consider is that, like, the killer experience also needs to be somewhat fun. Like, you know, I hate, like, bro, I was in this pub one time, bro, and, like, I was playing Noli. Like, this was, I just randomly found this server. And, like, this guest and this V were, like, combining their bumps to where I just couldn't do anything in the match. I'm like, what am I supposed to do against this? Like, my killer experience was horrible. Like, and I think that's also something which isn't very considered when balancing Forsaken, is the, killers. I think, you know, this is, like, kind of unrelated to comp. I mean, okay, I think competitive people balancing the game would circumvent this issue a little bit, because they would make the game generally more balanced, which is making it more killer-sided, therefore making killer more fun. But, like, you know, I feel like right now, the killer experience just isn't nearly as valued, and I can understand that to a certain extent. You know, you play Survivor more at the end of the day, but at the same time, bro, like, a lot of people are excited to play killer. Like, you know, that's why people spam generators, that's why people, you know, just, like, even, I guess, to a certain extent, by malice. Like, you know, killer is fun. Like, and just having to go against people who are then, like, semi-coordinated, and kind of like I mentioned previously, you know, just coordinating well, it's just not fun. Like, because you can't really, like, it's just hard to, like, break through. And it's just annoying. Like, you know, I wish killer got a little bit more, like, spotlight, because, you know, like, it should be fun. Like, you know, you are spending so much time to become killer, and then it's just, like, not, like, it's just not fun. And it's like, that's bad. And, you know, I think this kind of goes back, oh, well, this is a point I was going to make, but I just kind of, like, passively went on to it anyway, that this can just, like, competitive players balancing the game can just, like, positively affect the game as a whole because of this. Like, they can just make the game generally more fun, and I don't know if I'm, like, the only one with this opinion, but if I had to try harder or coordinate better with, like, my teammates, like, you know, not completely to where, like, I needed, like, voice chat or anything, but just a way it was, like, you know, I had to show coordination, like, that's fun, like, having to, like, really try, like, I like trying a lot. I get, like, some people don't want to, like, sweat their ass off, but I don't, like, you even have to sweat your ass off, you just have to try, and, like, you know, trying, like, especially in a game like this, where it's, like, already fun in general, I don't know, I just have fun with this game. If this game was more balanced, I feel like I would have to, like, try more, you know, to help me improve my skills. I would just be, like, having, like, more fun, And it's not going to be the point to where, like, I need to be, like, fully locked in as well. If it's done correctly. It's like, I can still try, and I can still, like, have... It's like, it's just a good mix. And, yeah, I think that's another reason why competitive, like, players, like, balancing the game would just benefit the game overall. Because, like, it would just mean the survivors have to try more, and that's just, like, fun. Like, I don't know. Like, I would just find that a lot more fun if it was, like, just harder. More of a challenge. Like, I don't, like, because, like, sometimes, bro, like, like, most of the time, I'm just server hopping to find, like, decent servers, or, like, semi-decent servers. So then, like, because a lot of the time, the killers are, like, kind of lost. So if you just had to, like, try more in general to be able to win, I think that'd be fun. I think that would positively affect the game. However, I think there's also just another thing to mention, and this is, like, I don't think this is, like, at fault of comp, really. It's more so, like, the perspective the competitive player should have. And, like, if they are only thinking about competitive or only bouncing around the competitive, that can definitely backfire for the game's, like, fun, I guess, and just, like, how enjoyable it is to play with, like, friends and shit. Like, you need to get competitive players who are open-minded, who are, like, they're going to consider the wider play base, and they're not only going to think about themselves, which I mean is, like, I think there's another point Lolbit's made in this video, but, like, at the end of the day, I feel like that kind of goes for, like, any balancer. Like, any balancer who's balancing a game should always just consider everyone. Like, if you have a closed-minded individual on your team, I don't think it matters, actually, how skilled they are. That's just, it's a negative attribute. Like, you should be able to be open-minded, you should be able to, like, take, things into consideration, and, like, you should, like, see someone's, like, making a point, like, oh, well, I think this, and, like, if they're not just objectively wrong, if they have decent reasoning to back it up, it should definitely be considered. Like, and I think that would just benefit the game, and, again, like, competitive players could have that issue, but anyone could also have that issue, is the thing. If you're just closed-minded, and if you just aren't willing to take others' opinions, like, it's just not going to be good anyway, no matter what you're doing, really. You need people who are going to take in feedback well, and just be able to improve the game as a whole. And I think if you just get competitive players who are willing to just look at the wider spectrum, who are willing to, consider that, like, how others are going to enjoy this game, and just consider, like, overall, some people just don't have that much time to invest. Like, like, people have lives outside of this game, so they're not going to be able to play this game 24/7 and become the best at it. So it's like, I feel like as long as you just consider that, like, you can make a healthy game. You don't have to completely, fully balance this game. Like, that's just, like, you shouldn't balance around comp. That just shouldn't be done. But I still think this game is just a little bit too survivor-sided than it should be, and it's just kind of, like, tanking the killer experience, and honestly, to an extent, tanking the survivor experience as well. So I think if you just had competitive people, not just being an advisory role, but actually just being able to, like, interact with balancing, and be able to, like, make good changes, while keeping an open mind, of course, it can 100%, like, benefit the game. Like, because it's, like, the more knowledge you have, it's just gonna, like, benefit anything, really. Like, if you're able to, like, identify the issues, like, quickly, how, like, competitive players could, then it's just gonna, like, avoid you a lot of issues in the future. And you could argue that certain survivors or killers could have came out in a better state, given they did have competitive players bouncing them when they were originally being designed. Like, so yeah, I think that's kind of why, like, I do believe that competitive players should be able to influence balancing, but to a certain extent, because at the end of the day, you need to consider everyone's opinions. I think it'd be best if you had people who are, like, logical, but, like, like, from, like, completely different skill levels, so you can just kind of consider the wider play base and just come to a compromise. And then, you can just make good balance changes, like, because, like, what you should be doing is, like, well, what I believe Forsaken should be doing is just finding a middle ground in its balancing, like a middle ground. So I don't think, okay, everyone's not gonna be happy. I mean, that's just kind of the essence with these things. But it can just overall be more balanced without completely cooking the, like, pub experience, and just in general making every aspect of this game more fun. So yeah, this video's gonna be okay, this video is already 50 minutes long. I think I've said everything I wanted to say here. I think there should be competitive players balancing the game, or more competitive players, because like whatever. I just think more competitive players should be balancing the game, because I think it would just benefit the game overall. Okay, well, I mean, that's pretty much everything. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment, or just dislike and report my channel if you hate me. Okay, bye.